and welcome to Talk the Thrones. My name is Chris Ryan. I am an editor at TheRinger.com. Joining me in the studio is Joanna Robinson, and screaming crab cakes and football. That's what Duskendale does. Yeah. It's Mallory Rubin. What's up?
What's up, man? What's this piss trough?
Oh, God.
We need muscle.
We're going to get all to the culinary delights of this episode. Second episode of Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yep.
Hard salt beef. We're going to talk about it right after this. Welcome back, guys. Episode 2. You know what? We didn't do any housekeeping last time. We didn't say where people can find us, where people can watch us, where people can listen. This is on the House of R feed.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
R can stand for many R's, you know?
Ah, Ryan.
Why not?
Love it.
This is where you belong.
You know, and
Ryan,
so
Rubin, and Robinson.
The dragon has 3 heads.
You can listen to and watch us on the Spotify House of R feed. You can also watch us on YouTube on the Ringerverse channel, right?
That's right.
Correct,
man.
And you can catch me all over the place. I pop up here and there.
But you're talking about this show on The Watch.
We do.
Yeah.
You know, it's right up against industry. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's just every Monday, it's a delight to find out what Andy thinks about either one of those shows. We're going to talk about this second episode. Do you want me to just recap it for you?
Can I quickly ask Mallory, how excited were you to have an episode of television that is essentially titled Jerky? And I know you're a jerky enthusiast.
You need to have it with you on every flight.
Yeah.
If you ever leave your home, you should have some jerky with
some
you.
Weird plane food, don't you?
As you know, I love a Funyun. Something salty.
This.
I like a turkey jerky, trail mix. Certainly, I mean, Jomi's here with us. Basically, 90% of our text thread with Jomi is about Welch's fruit snacks that we all purchase at the airport.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get some nice hard salt beef action with Arlan and Dunk at the beginning. We get Dunk taking a big bite at the end. No soaking of the beef in this episode.
Jerky to open, jerky to close.
I like to just hit the Centurion Lounge and see what they've got,
Yeah.
Before.
Wow.
What sort of like seasoning do you like on your jerky? Any flavor?
I hate jerky. Let's get into this
missing
episode.
out, man. You're missing out.
Welcome to the past, where we see Ser Arlan packing insane heat.
Unbelievable stuff.
Was that a prosthetic? I gotta find out.
I feel sure that we will know when Bill starts watching this show.
Oh.
Yes.
Because we will get that text from him.
That's true.
Yeah.
He is getting himself a diabolical fatal infection, and he's fucking dying. This is what Game of Thrones is.
He's also fucking and then
yes.
dying.
But this is what this franchise is about. Yeah. Guys getting minor infections and then going out on that, No antibiotics in this world.
Question for you guys. Should Dunk just be going around to all of the High Lords and saying, do you remember the man with
biggest
the werewood cock? I think he would be having more luck if he had led with that.
Oh, Ser
Arlan!
Yeah.
This riveting footage is narrated by Sir Duncan, who is making his case to House Tyrell. Shout out to my girl Marge. To get anyone royal, to co-sign his entrance into the Ashford tournament. Alas, he gets rejected, leading his squire Egg to question whether Arlan was really all that in the first place. Oh, but what's that? Is that the Targaryen music I hear?
Sure is.
King Darren's adult sons show up on the scene with banners and trumpets and questionable manners. We got Baelor, the crown prince and hand of the king, along with his brother. Maekar. Moneymake's got a kid of his own, and this guy seems like a real stand-up dude. His name is Aerion. He's played by Finn Bennett. You may have seen him in True Detective Night Country.
Love it. Money makes his elite nickname work for you.
Really,
sensational stuff. Sensational stuff.
In about 14 seconds of screen time, Aerion mistakes Duncan for a stable boy and asks him for a wench and some wine.
Who among us, honestly?
It's the big three.
All you need in life.
Someone proving the Q rating of the Targaryen Knights are Sir Roland and Sir Donald, members of the Kingsguard.
Correct.
You love the Kingsguard.
You do.
God, those guys are cool.
I just want to note that 1/3 of our notes today you dedicated to a minute of screen time occupied by
those
the
guys
Kingsguard.
are badasses, right?
I will say
That's the same homies who were the Morningstar guys, right? Is that the guy's name? The dude who was at the tower.
Sword of the Morning.
Sword of the Morning.
Sword of the
Sir
Morning.
Arthur Dane.
Yeah.
Morning Star guy at the tower. Joy, you're the best. I've thought Ser Roland was particularly memorable.
I got a spicy
Handsome
text
guy.
from
My
Mallory.
goodness. Wow.
These guys have good-natured banter with Duncan at the stable. We get some intel on Donald's crabbing background during a tender moment between he and Dunk. And that tenderness extends all the way to Baelor Targaryen. Dunk eavesdrops on the Targaryen brothers talking about Maekar's missing sons, Daeron and Aegon. When he's discovered, he makes his big pitch to Baelor, who is surprisingly warm towards Duncan, and says he remembers fighting Arlan in a tournament 16 years ago. There's just one condition. Duncan has to get a new sigil, but otherwise you're in.
Branding is
Great,
key.
great
16
opportunity.
seed, maybe, but you're in the tourney.
Yeah.
Enter Tanzel, the puppeteer who moonlights as a graphic artist.
It's her passion.
She agrees to redesign Dunk's shield under the creative direction of Egg. Dunk also needs some armor, and while the blacksmith armor is not unsympathetic, he still needs his rate. So Dunk sells off his beloved horse.
Just
horse.
the one.
Just Sweetfoot.
This is basically a Bruce Springsteen song. He has to sell his horse to get his armor.
Do you have any lyrics prepared for us?
I actually don't. You know,
Do it right
And
now.
Honestly, the reason I don't is because they didn't give my guy Jeremy a nom. So I will be
If they had, you would
withholding
be
my
ready.
Full on. Okay. Egg and Dunk visit night one of the tournament and get a front row seat to the brutality and the speed. Honestly, this is like me thinking I could play slot receiver in the NFL and then go into the combine and be like, you know what? I don't know if I have the twitch ability.
I loved what Ira Parker, the showrunner, said on the official pod off of episode 1, which was, I'm paraphrasing, Dunk has been playing like pickup hoops with his high school pals, and now he's trying out for the Lakers.
Honestly, we got to talk about Ira Parker's old hair before his new hair.
Yeah.
His long, like, I'm in Slayer hair. What's up with that?
I have no
He's
idea.
a hippie guy.
Yeah.
That's great. Anyway, Egg and Dunk, they chat about like this tournament, and Dunk is shook. Dunk is like, I'm not sure I'm ready for prime time. And, you know, Egg is just kind of like, he's seeing the whole chessboard. We're going to get into what he says, what he does, how he seems in this episode. But Mal, I'll start with you. What was your favorite part of the episode?
Oh, I thought this episode was great in general, so I'm excited to talk about all of it with both of you, but there can only be one pick for me. My favorite character in this novella is here. Baelor Breakspear is my favorite. He's my dude. So, and I love Birdie, who's playing him. That casting was I texted you like 500 times when that was announced. I thought that scene was sensational, and I can't wait to talk about it with you guys today. So Baelor finally being here, and Maker and Aerion.
And his brother.
Great to have, and his brother. Great
Maker.
to have the Targs here, but Baelor in particular is just very exciting for me. I love him.
What about you, Joanna?
Yeah, I think, Lord Ashford says sword and shield do not make a knight, and then tries to get a, am I right, from Maker.
Yep.
Maker's like, I'm not giving you anything. But sword and shield, but like watching Duncan's brand further coalesce with he's getting some armor, he's getting a sigil, like we got his name last. So like the way in which the story, the myth is forming as it goes, that and tug of war with my guy Lionel.
Yeah, I forgot to mention the tug of war, which was very impressive.
Yeah, we got, I believe, 3 cunts from Lionel in like 75 seconds. That guy is efficient with his screen time. My goodness.
Yeah. I sent you like basically every line he said in the episode.
I definitely think that my favorite part of the episode was the arrival of the Targaryens. And I guess we could start there, and we need to talk about them because here's the thing is that you can be very well steeped in all the lore and read the books and understand what's going on, or you can kind of watch the shows and
then watch our show.
And just watch our show. But even just from the performances of the actors portraying the Targaryens, you just see that they've been taken down a peg or two a bit. You know what I mean? Like, I think that this is a more weary, maybe like late period Rolling Stones version of the Targaryens. You know, like we're still out here playing Start Me Up at stadiums, but like we really got to get cranked before this happens. Like it's not just flowing through us anymore. And
you don't feel like Aerion is really like representing for...
I think Aerion has a lot going on, but like I even think like his uncle and his father's reactions to him, or like the way they talk about him, like, you know, is different. So I mean,
what do you think of the short hair?
I'm for it.
You're a fan of the short hair in general. Yeah.
I like it too.
I think it's great.
I think it looks good.
I think it's great.
I like it as like an idea of like a humbled Targaryen is like, we're not wearing our long hair.
Yeah.
You know,
when you're not flying on a dragon and it can't kind of like just flutter in the wind.
Well,
why bother?
There's obviously an absence of dragons. Let's talk a little bit about what has happened to them.
Yeah.
In between the end of House of the Dragon, which we can't really betray because we don't want to be mean to people watching House of the Dragon, and now where it seems like they're still like, they're the seat of power, right? They're still running the kingdom, but they're just like a little bit different, a little bit less mythical. What did you think, Joe?
Yeah, we get this line, Father bade us attend this miserable circus, right? Which we had been talking about. What are the Targaryens doing at this sort of backwater tourney?
Right.
Yes.
Iconic with Lord Ashford just literally standing right there. That is said about him, his home, his daughter's name day celebration and the tourney he is hosting.
Gwen Ashford, what a piece of work.
How thrilled were you to get a name?
This whole thing is like Gwen Ashford's My Super Sweet 13, right? It's her 13th birthday.
She's like,
it's her name day. George R. R. Martin forgot to give her a name in the book.
That's
and
great.
So she's Gwen in the show. We love that she has a name and some lines. It's really nice.
Bechdel test.
Well, she's talking about missing guys, so not really. But anyway, so what makes a Targaryen a Targaryen? I think we've been asking the question, what makes a knight a knight?
Mm-hmm.
But what makes a Targaryen when they don't have their dragons?
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing Baelor, who seems like a really chill, nice dude. And we're seeing Aerion, who seems like a piece of shit. So it's like the whole spectrum
He's vibing with it.
of Targ here. But I think we talked about this last week, this idea of the Blackfire Rebellion, which gets mentioned twice in this episode.
Yes.
The Battle of the Red Grass Field gets mentioned. That's from that Targaryen civil war that really just happened a few years ago. And then at the very end, Egg is like, you Blackfire bastards, right? Yeah. So we weren't sure they were going to talk about it because it's not in the book, in the first book.
Oh, okay.
Because George hadn't thought of it yet. But it's very prevalent in the second and third novellas. And so it's already here. And that's really exciting because they're still licking their wounds from a massive civil war. They don't have their dragons. So they're really holding on by a thread to their power here.
I loved too the way that, like, to the red grass point, that Dunk was just like the red grass, right? He's talking about how Arlan lost his prior squire, sweet little Roger, mace to the face. Tough way to go. But the shorthand, it does rhyme. The red grass, there's not a person he could be addressing there who wouldn't know what he meant. Like that is the way that this latest civil war looms over the realm and history. So you pair that conflict and the fact that where they are in history right now, some of the people that the Targaryens are interacting with might be like really glad that Darren the Good won. And some of them might not feel that way.
Like, right? I was on the other side.
13 years after Civil War, it's not like everybody is in agreement. The dragons, as Joe noted, and then you add in this little delicious aspect of the brown hair on Baelor, which like is actually worth talking about because you don't have a dragon and you don't have that signature silver hair that's supposed to instantly remind you that you're closer to a god than a man. That shit that you Targs are always talking about. Now, for Dunk, for Ser Arlan, for the readers, for the viewers, the fact that you see Baelor, that like in the novel, it's a little different in the novella. Dunk, and I actually thought this was a really interesting change that here, I thought the implication was that Dunk sees them go in and he's like, I'm going to go, here's my Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Make the pitch directly, right? Whereas in the novella, he is just going to seek out Plumber again, happens upon them, literally is speaking to Baelor before he has any idea who he's talking to. And then in real time, it's like, oh my Lord.
Like, oh no.
So he's dressed more plainly and simply. He's got because his father, the king, married a Martell. His mother's a Dornish princess. So he has like common hair, right? And some people are like, neat. And other people are like, this is just one more reason to think that I can go for you. From the world of Ice and Fire, yet too many men looked upon Baelor's dark hair and eyes and muttered, he was more Martell than Targaryen, even though he proved a man who could win respect with ease and was as open-handed and just as his father. So that's, I think, a good indication of the landscape that they're navigating as they go around.
I mean, what's also true is that Baelor is way more popular than Maekar.
Way more
popular.
That introduction of them was so funny.
And why is that?
Personality?
But does Maekar's personality follow his
chicken egg
ranking, or is he like
he's the youngest son?
Is he like I'm
fourth son? Yeah,
I'm a little salty because like I'm so far down the pecking order here, or is he just like I have
just
terrible
born
sons?
That way?
Yeah,
I don't know,
okay.
But I just one more piece of Baelor and Maekar lore that I want to give. I mean, Baelor is Baelor Breakspear. Like that's a sick name. Aerion Brightflame. Yeah. And then
did he give himself that name?
Probably
Aerion?
The Bright Prince.
And then there's Maekar.
Yeah.
That being said, they're also called the Hammer and the Anvil because at the Battle of the Red Grass Field, they did like a pincer attack movement. One was the hammer Baelor. One was the animal maker.
It's cooler to be the hammer. It just
than
is.
it is to be the animal.
It just is.
But that's their legacy. There's like a whole song about these brothers.
Music.
Their other two brothers suck, and they get a mention in this
They do.
episode.
They get a shout
How's
out.
the older brother? How's Darren? There's a lot of Darrens.
that's Darren is Maker's eldest
Son.
son. They're
But
middle
missing.
brothers. So the king's son, eldest brother, heir to the throne, Prince of Dragonstone, Baelor. Then Ares and Rhaegal are their middle brothers. Get a quick mention here, and it's like bookish,
Oh, right.
mad. So
Yeah.
that's sort of the rap sheet on those
Yeah.
guys, the scouting report
And
on
then
those guys.
Maker.
Then Maker. Maker has his sons, Darren. I know you were like,
But isn't there another Darren?
Well,
okay.
the current king is
Yeah,
Darren
yeah.
II.
And so Darren the second is the ruling king right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Darren, son of Maker.
The missing, we'll call him.
Darren the Missing, I like it. Not to be confused with Darren the First, the young dragon, a famous figure in
House
Targaryen
of the
history.
Dragon.
No, not to be confused with Darren the Daring,
Oh, come
who we
on,
like
You're
to
George.
talk
you're making it worse. I
It's
think,
just,
Mallory.
I think the point is, as we have said before, we would really love to implore the Targaryens to think of some different names.
Yes.
Just, and you might be wondering on the name from Baelor, in case anyone who is a Game of Thrones enthusiast is like, Baelor, like Sept of Baelor or Baelor, the famous season 1 episode. No, he is named for Baelor the Blessed, Baelor the First, who the Sept was named after. And then, of course, the Thrones episode is named for the Sept. So different Baelors, different Darrens.
My favorite part of Dunk
They should just name a kid like...
talking to these guys about who Arlan is Baelor's recall.
That's right.
He remembers.
He is
It's the best.
He is a ball knower or a bail knower, as I want to say.
Yeah. I like
he
it.
has like his access to Baseball Reference for the Knights is right there. And he's like 16 years ago,
Off the dome.
broke 4 lances, fought, didn't win, but didn't suck.
Yeah.
Never shamed himself.
And then you have that great exchange between the two of them where Duncan mistakenly is like, "It was 7 lances, sir," and he's just like,
And Plumber's like,
yeah.
the fuck?
Some amazing facial expressions from Plumber in the
But
background of that
tales
scene.
grow in the telling of them. I think is the line of the episode because that's like what we're watching,
Yes.
right? Is
Yes.
a tale as it grew. And I also love the way the episode is bookended. We get Dunk making the pitch about Arlan, and he's sort of trying to polish his legacy, right? We get the juxtaposition of what was actually going on with Arlan at the time. And some of it's good. Like he's giving money away to people, right? Like he and Dunk are sharing some jerky and a laugh under
That
a
was so
tree.
sweet,
Like
yeah.
very, very sweet. So there's some nice stuff. But like at the end of the episode, we get a more plain, unvarnished version of who Arlan was. And that's just like what this story is about.
Yes.
Is like who is Dunk versus Duncan, the legacy of Duncan the Tall.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what Baelor is underlining here. Yeah, it's 7 spears. No, it was 4, but don't worry about it. It's
What was the one he asks him about Daemon Lannister?
the Gray Lion.
Is that a hard question?
No, it's not. I think that's
Do you think
actually...
he was trying to help him out a little bit?
Yeah, I think that tells us more about Baelor than it tells us about Dunk because the Lord of Casterly Rock is
Right.
not a hard person
Not a tough
to know.
pull.
Yeah, it's like who won
And
the World
yeah,
Series
so
last
It's
year.
not like
Kind of,
Mallory
yeah.
rattling off 900 different Targaryens.
It's like it's one more way to show us that the like you said, the warmth and the kind of like generosity and the hospitable welcome. The fact that like, what is the reason that Dunk is in that room in the first place, right? I asked Sir Manfred, he told me to fuck off. By the way, on the like, is that a hard thing to know? Part of how in the novella, Dunk tries to convince Sir Manfred is like rattling off the history of how House Dondarrion got the sigil. And he's like, anyone could know that. Like a thing that anyone could know is not definitionally impressive. But Baelor wants Dunk to be able to do this. He calls him Sir easily. He's Sir Rise.
Yeah.
Right? Like he doesn't need Dunk to convince him that he's a knight because he is remarking upon a certain quality, right? There is a Dunk is endeavoring to do
He's got,
something
like, some
and
humility.
make something
Yeah,
of
yeah,
his life, and Baelor is responding to that with a warmth. I also just love he's fabled warrior, open heart. Ser Arlan loves him. Snacking. Like Brad Pitt in any movie he's in. The way that he was just popping.
the way he like looks up from his like, huh?
the comfort and the ease.
Yeah.
And like the fact that he remembers Ser Arlan when not a single other person did. And that was like a crisis
It's just
for
so
Dunk.
funny that Makar the whole time is just like, sorry, what the fuck are we talking about?
When Dunk rips off the chivalry Arlan idea and Maker's just like, fuck this. Like how many days of my life do I have to spend hearing about how great my brother is? Incredible.
Also, when when Dunk is like, I tried to talk to Manfred Dondarrion, and Maker goes, who? And as we talked about in House of R,
Fantastic.
Baelor's married to a Dondarrion.
Yeah.
So like the Dondarrions are in their immediate family, and
It's
Maker's
incredible.
like, who the fuck are you talking
Yeah.
about?
It's
I don't
incredible
know.
stuff.
Well, he's got his hands full with his kids.
Yeah.
All right. I want to talk a little bit about Egg in this episode.
Yes.
So, he's wise.
Yes.
He knows about puppetry
He knows about puppetry. He knows the
and
arts.
pollen.
He's
Science.
conversant in the arts and sciences.
He is.
He knows a lot about knights,
Sure does.
especially currently serving knights.
Mm-hmm.
He does not seem to enjoy the arrival of the Targaryens.
Correct.
I note that.
Yeah. He has
Those
some
are all
commentary
things that
on
are
the royal lapdogs. You know, he's really saying to Dunk, like, just fucking ride into the joust, man.
Yeah.
I think that after Plummer ripped off the Ashford chair bit in episode 1, he would really have enjoyed Dunk's turn his asshole into a lance hole.
Mhm.
Or eggs, excuse me, turn his... I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Little potty mouth on little egg here. I loved that. What did you think of Egg getting the puppet line? The famous fabled
this is
puppet line.
one of my favorite lines
when
from
he's
the
like,
story.
it's a commonality or no?
No,
Oh.
when they meet Tansel, too tall,
Yeah.
right? And she's like, too tall, the boys called me. And Dunk says, you're not too tall. You're the perfect height for,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
trails off.
Control yourself.
And Egg goes, puppets, right? A real nice save from Egg. You're the
Yeah,
perfect
it's
height for puppets. But that's like one of Dunk's lamest lines. He's like,
It's
you're the perfect
incredible.
height for puppets. I
Sure.
mean, he's got zero game, my guy.
Yeah.
I love Egg in this episode. I love watching him just like be a kid,
Mhm.
you know, get like the way that he's watching the puppet show in this episode,
Yeah.
the tug of war sequence, which is added, like that's not in the book. All of their chats, like the bug in his cider, you
Oh
know,
my God,
and like,
that was really
and then
funny.
just like watching the tourney
Yeah.
and just being like, yeah, get him. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
like, it's really sweet.
Did you think he was more like Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers, or was he giving you like Bills Mafia, like I'll flip my way through a table vibes? He was really into
Egg?
he was really into the beginning of the joust.
I think that he's definitely a Northeast Corridor guy.
For sure.
You know,
no
like
question.
he
Yeah.
loves winter football
Yeah,
and big hits.
agreed.
Like,
Agreed. What
there's
jersey is he rocking?
Ray Lewis.
Well, I mean,
You think he's a Kyle Hamilton fan?
welcome to the flock, Egg. yeah, he likes Kyle Hamilton's positional flexibility,
That's
the way
what
he really
I-
opens up scheme on the defensive side.
What else is there to say about Egg? Because he's still like the mysterious stranger of this show.
Mhm.
Well, so he shifts from, I thought this was subtle but effective. He shifts from that really like effusive cheering and euphoria at being there watching the joust to the chaos is unfolding. Obviously, we get the kind of foggy head from Dunk, who's like, whoa, this is going to be intense, right?
Mhm.
But then Egg is watching all the squires grab the lances after they've shattered
And he
and replaced
looks at
them, and he
his
looks at his
own
tiny
little
little hands,
hands.
and he's like, oh man, he's
Too
having his own
puny for
version.
puppets.
Yeah.
Am I going to be ready for this? Am I going to be able to do that?
Yeah.
And I thought that was like precious.
I think him
I really
talking
liked
about
that.
like feeling puny for his size and all of, you know, for his age and all of that. I thought that was really sweet. The genuine like bonding between the two
Yes.
of them is, I thought, really effective.
Yeah, you can't really, just to step into the TV side of it, you cannot really say enough about how much they nailed the casting on this and
It's the
how,
best.
the Dexter Saul Ansel, is that his name?
There's only
Yes.
one moment where he was like, and, you know, that I was
Yeah.
like, there was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a little too much sauce on
Yeah.
on the hot dog there. But other than that, like,
Too many bugs in the cider? Too much salt on the beef?
sometimes sentences get away from
I
you.
did like that when he does that, though. I did like that moment where Dunk like kind of has offered up this, you're like, people always call me stupid. And Egg is waiting because he's like, aren't you trying to like help me or teach me?
Yeah.
And we have all these moments already where Dunk is learning something from Egg. And so Egg is, of course, eager to
Right.
receive
Like,
some
where's
wisdom
that
in turn.
training? Yeah.
And Dunk's like, what am I supposed to like help you grow? I thought that was great. But right before that, when Egg very charmingly said, well, you are both gigantic,
Yeah.
you know, and
commonality.
is that promising? It's a commonality. And so I like thinking about how with Tansel and Duncan, Egg is identifying something that they share.
Uh,
And we have with Egg and Dunk a little bit of the inverse in that. You know, they're so charming to us because they are the odd couple. Obviously, in episode 1, you know, what would my mother say? She's dead, and you'd have to take me back from King's Landing. Dunk is identifying things that soften him toward Egg and that he thinks point to commonalities. But a lot of what's going on here is that they're complementing each other because they're so different. And that's not only effective and useful in the plot engine of the story, it's just so compelling to watch in real time. So I think Egg is fantastic. Dunk is obviously just like,
I think one of the
amazing.
hallmarks of like all these shows, but I assume George's writing is just like the ability to like fashion these relationships out of opposites, which is obviously not unique to him, but like throughout Thrones, you're like, and honestly, if I would say Hot D kind of misses this a little bit, is a little bit of the like, let's put two people on a mini adventure.
What about you and Kristen Cole?
I mean, in Philly at closing time, it's a different story.
Yeah,
it's a little bit more task oriented. You know?
Can I talk to you about the tourney for a second that we see?
Yeah.
So
what is this? This is like opening ceremonies? What are they doing?
No, this is real.
First
so
night.
it's 5v5.
Okay.
I just want to point out that this first novella is 100 pages long. The description of this section of the tourney is 15 pages long. It's so in depth. There's so many names. I mean, there are illustrations too, but there's like so many names. Like George is so excited to talk about a tourney. And he talked about this before the show started. Like he's inspired by Ivanhoe. He loves that book, that
he's
film.
Like, targ, here we go. And then he's like, now the tournament.
Yeah.
Okay, you
and
guys,
he's like, let me tell you about Humphrey Harding. Get really excited. And so he was like, it was important for the show to nail the tourney. And this isn't the last that, we're at a like multi-day tourney. This isn't the last action we'll see, but I thought it was interesting that they shot it at night. That's like an interesting budgetary thing, I imagine.
See, I actually thought the nighttime shooting contributed a little bit for the perspective of Duncan Egg. Like the night almost shrouds this whole thing in even more mystery. It's like they're going so fast, we can't see it clearly.
Yeah.
How is this working? But that's interesting.
You just smell the Tully bitten fish head flying over you, but can you track it with your eyes in the dark? It's a good question.
The bit with the fish was pretty gross. Disgusting. But I thought like, Thrones took so much flack for its night shoots. Like I thought the action was overwhelming, but fairly clear. Like I could track things. And as long as you are like adept at sigil spotting or whatever it is, like you can kind of track the action and it looks intensive. I didn't feel overwhelmed. Like I couldn't follow what was happening. It felt scary and fun.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited for George that he got exactly what he wanted, which was like, please nail the tourney.
What a time to be George.
I'm so glad that something worked out for him.
What a time to be George. I really agree. It was super exciting and energizing, but it's also scary. It makes you worry for Dunk heading into that. What did you think of getting to see Prince Valarr, Baelor's son, who is one of, so there are 5 champions and then there can be challengers.
I'll take that bet. So Valarr.
Second in line to the throne.
Okay, but like, there are doubts about some of his abilities. Like he's like, I'll take that bet. This guy's not that hot. What?
Well, so Dunk is kind of like assuming, right?
He's like,
I bet
he's the favorite.
Well, because part of it is like Baelor's prowess and Maker, as Joe noted with the hammer and the anvil, a fabled warrior as well, though. And as the passage goes, like in the shadow of his eldest brother, always. It's a little bit of the like Brienne, Jaime, like, well, maybe you were that good once, or maybe people just love to overpraise a famous name idea. Like the assumption that the Targaryen prince, who is one of the champions, would be the favorite is, well, that's not the position that Dunk is going to be in. Nobody knows who the fuck he is. Nobody remembers who Ser Arlan is other than Baelor. But you see that shiny black Targaryen armor and the impressive mount. And you're like, is that the guy? And Egg's like,
not really.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So just what is the perception? What does your name grant you? What are people expecting from you based on who you are?
Yeah.
And is the fact that you're no one and known to no one perhaps an advantage then? Actually, is like kind of an interesting place to find the characters in the opening stretch of the joust here.
We're talking a little bit about knights. You just brought up what's his name? Valar.
Valarr.
Yeah. Valarr. This is how
You're like, enough about the second in line to the throne. Can we talk about the Kingsguard?
I just want to talk about my guys in the Kingsguard for a second because very, very good scene. Just like the two of them.
It was great.
Also looking for place to take a dump, but having like great.
Well, and if anyone would know where to take a shit, it's Mr. Diarrhea Dunk.
He's like, let me tell you,
I reject that name.
It's Mr. Diarrhea Dunk.
I'm rejecting it.
Anywhere I drop trow is a great place to go to the bathroom. Really interesting. And then so Donald, not unlike Baelor, connects with Dunk about something. For Baelor, it's probably like this idea of virtue and humility and a knightly quality that he sees in Duncan, but
ugh.
No.
Sorry, just doing my Makar impression.
But Donald, one of the Kingsguard,
Yep.
is like, oh, I came from nothing too, brother. You know, like I
We're
just
crabbers.
Yeah, I just
humble crabbers.
And then Egg is like, I happen to know that his dad basically like owns all the
his last name is
boats.
Old Bay.
Tycoon.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he's like, how do you know so much about that?
Yep.
And he's like, I'm interested
love
in
to fish.
I mean, you pointed out his Branzino skills last week. I don't
right.
think that's off brand for Egg.
But-
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Why would Donald lie about that?
I think he's trying to make. I mean, this is a show edition, so we don't have like a clear answer for you.
It's just a
because
great wrinkle.
Donald of Duskendale, though he's in the book, is like a much even thinner character than he is in this episode, right? So they're fleshing out the Kingsguard for you, Chris, because they know how much you love them, and giving him this whole crabbing backstory. So we don't have like a technical answer for you. So we can only just use our TV watching skills and say, I think he's just trying to make Dunk feel better about the opportunity for
You guys are making
mobility.
fun of me, but as I'm thinking about it, all my favorite characters are in the Kingsguard.
I know.
We're not making no fun of you. We see you very clearly.
Kristen Cole,
Yeah.
Jamie Lannister,
Yeah.
right?
Marin Trant, you know.
Oh, come on. Give him a break.
Morning, son of the morning.
Yeah, Morningstar himself.
You're so close. One of these days, you're going to get it. One of
That
these
guy's
days.
cool too,
Yeah.
though.
Are you a
Fuck
Barristan
yeah.
Selmy guy?
You love Barristan
Yeah,
Selmy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even now, I could come
Mhm.
through you.
Yeah, those are
You love
all
the
the
Kingsguard.
guys.
We'll rank the armor. I think this is the best Kingsguard armor we've seen
It's
yet.
real white.
Well, this is like, I think, closest to the canon. I like it.
closest to
like,
canon.
The dragon kind of wing effects
I thought
down
Jamie
there.
had the
Very
best
I think
armor.
Jamie had the best armor.
Of course you do.
And when he took it off with just one hand,
I mean, that was good. That was memorable. Admittedly, that was memorable. So I think though, like another interesting thing about Donald is like, it's one more reminder that there are different kinds of access and different kinds of power. Sure, he's not a nobleman. He's not a Darkland of Duskendale. You loved watching a Darkland of Duskendale get beheaded by Chris Cole
It
and
was
Hot
time
D.
well spent in that series.
You love a sack.
You love a sack.
Money is you love a sack in many forms. That's part of why you were so taken by Ser Arlan, and you'll never forget him.
We didn't actually. No, I'm not going to get into it.
No, let's. You want to talk about
I
the
just
dick?
didn't really get to see much sack because like there's
It's
just way too
obscure.
much tree
Obscure.
trunk hanging down to his ankles.
yeah,
there.
a mighty elm.
a mighty elm indeed. A mighty elm indeed. Money is access. Money is power. And so I think I think that there is a tenderness of intention there to say like, bro, you can do this. But like this guy had daddy funding every step he ever took.
Nepo baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Donald Old Bay fought his way into the Kingsguard.
So Donald Kingsguard,
Old
that's
Bay
like
Donnie.
a good job for a noble.
It depends if
son.
you want to be able to fuck and marry
they're celibate.
and have your own lands. I mean,
Well,
are
are
they?
they?
They're supposed to be. So,
All
you
my
know,
goats are
so many
celibate.
vows they make you swear. And swear. Yeah, Chris Cole famously honored the vow of celibacy.
Jamie,
yeah,
keeping in his
only
pants.
Jamie
fucked his
definitely never
sister.
fucked his sister.
Yeah.
But-
It's just Barristan holding down the vows, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. But it is if you want to be a knight, if you care about being a knight, it is the great honor. And so that's another thing with Dunk getting to interact with Hot Rollin and Old Bay Donnie is, you know, when he sees them arrive, the 7 champions of the Kingsguard were the most
There's only
puissant
7 of them
warriors
at
in all
any
the 7
time.
kingdoms. A word we both learned how to
Yeah.
pronounce this week.
What was it?
Puissant.
Oh yeah,
You probably knew.
I didn't.
Well, now
I
we all
didn't.
know. Look at that. Saving only perhaps the
I didn't know how
crown
to pronounce
prince, Baelor
bodice.
Breakspear himself.
A Bodis Ripper?
Bodis?
Bodis Ripper. Yeah, I got confused. Yeah.
He's a Bodice Ripper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I support you always. Genuinely.
When we mentioned bodices on House of R, a bunch of people wanted us to ask you about your bodice ripping skills.
I bet.
I've said all I can say about that.
Keep the commentary coming. Did Crab make you think more of Davos, son of a crabber, or your actual
your-
favorite character?
the
Move
crab
over
feeder.
Chris Cole, the crab feeder, back on top.
I just love that there has been a consistent drumbeat narratively of crabs in this franchise.
I think thinking about Sir Davos is really useful
Yes.
because he's also from Flea Bottom the
Yeah.
way that Duncan is. And so Sir Davos is a genuine
Actual
started
son
at
of
the
a crab,
bottom, now we're here kind of story. So
Yeah,
We're having a lot of fun.
aren't we?
it's the best.
Ain't we?
Well, I was just saying, because this is like weird. I'm like kind of done. Like I'm like, because it's a 33-minute episode.
This is the
And so
shortest
we
episode
don't
of Thrones
really,
we've
like,
ever seen.
It's
Yeah.
almost strange to like be in this world where we're like, great job, guys. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, give us what's your Aerion vibe check?
Okay, first of all, Finn Bennett,
Yeah.
I just have a lot of stock on him is in my investment
Absolutely
portfolio.
wonderful.
So
Yeah.
I thought he was fabulous in Night Country
Same.
and
Black Doves.
Black Doves, he was
Oh.
fantastic. He just has that fucking,
He's got it.
pardon my French, twat. Like, kind of like.
Did not think that's what he was going to say.
He's just
Wow.
such a stuck-up asshole.
Very Lionel Baratheon laughing storm of you just now.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, I thought you said cunt like 4 times. I mean, like, people are watching the
5.
show.
Yep. She's just baiting you.
Anyway, he just had, like, that's a great character entrance. And it
the
says
best.
everything you need to say about him. I am not expecting many layers to his character. I think he is here to be an asshole. And that's my vibe.
Like, would you put him in like the Joffrey camp? Like, where would you put him?
I just, maybe not as sadistic, but maybe not. I'm not betting heavy. I'm just saying he's not going to like have a character beat where he's like, well, nobody understands me. You know, like I have a really hard life. Like,
Mallory, how did you feel about the character design here? Because it's different from the book.
I really like in the book that he comes in and it's with raiment bright as flame, all reds and yellows and golds. He's basically just trying to walk in looking, peacocking and looking like as dragony and as wreathed in fiery dragon flame as possible. So I think in general, obviously the shows have a little bit of a subtler visual palette than that, and so I think this makes sense as a treatment, and the hair is doing all the work that frankly we need. But I did long for that a little bit. What I really love about his entrance though is the way that's where we get that great line that we've mentioned many times across the trailer pods and so far covering the season. On Dunk, he felt ill at ease enough around the lords and their pavilions. He had no business speaking to princes. Like confronting Aerion, it's a real like, why am I talking to these people? Like, and then he's got to go have this conversation with Baelor and Maker and Lord Ashford and our dude Plumber.
But
it's
it would
just
be
like
having
how is he
a
in
bunch
this
of baseball
circumstance?
cards and then all of a sudden hanging out with the people in the baseball cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
yes,
that's a good
exactly.
one.
That's a perfect comp.
Something they added, not that we needed more to endear ourselves to Dunk, but something they added to that scene is him like taking care of Aerion's horse who gets like spooked. So it's a real like save the cat moment, right? That he's like, he loves to talk to horses. He sells his horse for some money. But leaves some money behind. He needs all of that money.
Yeah.
I mean, he's tossing some coin to Tanzel.
He sure is.
Look, graphic design isn't cheap.
Yeah.
You know?
But he
This
needs
is
that money, and he's
pre-Adobe.
like, he leaves money for oats and an apple for
So
Sweetfoot,
sweet.
you know?
And he feels very pained. Like it's expressly stated in the novella that he feels like he's betraying an old friend because this was obviously Thunder is the war horse, but Sweetfoot mattered a lot to Arlan, and Arlan taught him. We talked about this on House of Ard, like care for these animals and to take their care seriously. And that if he had a copper left, he would spend it on an apple for them.
Wound care, but he taught them horse care.
No Neosporin in the Seven Kingdoms.
Didn't just die because he caught a cold in the rain, you know?
No,
Just
it's
a
'cause of the
festering wound.
infection,
Yeah,
wasn't
but
it?
this is like a
This is
a
added
tweak.
lore.
Oh.
Yeah.
They didn't,
I just like that
George
he
didn't
like
describe
looks
the
at it
festering
and is
wound.
like, that's a bad cut. I should, and then just is like,
Well,
I'll just
and we've
let that
seen
heal itself.
the canvas of his body covered in scars. So you have to wonder, like, what made this particular wound
I feel like you're
fester?
like one step away
The
from
naked chick
his body is
behind
a
him.
wonderlanding, Arlan. I love this for
We
you.
have been waiting for Chris to sing all pods, so
I know,
it's not too late.
it's
It
true.
could be that.
I thought, for as much as fun as we're having, I thought this was an excellent episode for showing that Dunk has something that other people are recognizing from across the spectrum of the universe of this show that is, if not special, at least valuable,
And
which is like his sort of innate heroic chivalrous quality.
Right.
That Baelor, down to the armorer, down to Tanzel, like all
Steely
these
Pate, my
many
dude.
people, if they too are good, they're recognizing that common goodness.
Yes.
That's good writing.
We talked about this a little bit on House of R, this idea that like in the book you're reading from Dunk's point of view. So he's not going to say, and then Steely Pate looked at me like I kind of could be a cool guy, or
Right.
like Baelor thought I might be a cool guy.
Right.
So like this is something we are getting in the show, is the way that other people look at him, which is not available to us in the book, which makes television a great medium. I also think it's worth talking more about
Puppets.
puppets.
Florian the Fool.
Sure.
Yeah.
I
Is that okay with you? Can we
I
talk about
zoned down
puppets?
a little bit during the puppet show.
Did you remember the name Florian? Were
Well, I
you
just
like,
didn't want any House of the Dragon spoilers. You know?
No, this is different time period,
You're
I
fine.
promise.
It's just way back when. Way back when.
Florian? Is that this guy? Who is the dragon named Florian?
No,
No.
the fool. The
Oh.
fool
This is a
who
different
becomes
tale.
a knight. And this is one of Sansa's favorite stories.
Oh,
Yeah. Remember Sir Dantos?
no.
No.
I could be your Florian.
Who's Sir Dantos? Was he in Game of Thrones?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the one who helps Sansa escape. Joffrey makes him drink all the wine, turns him into and Sansa's like, he's a fool, not a knight.
Chris has closed his laptop, which means it's time to
not
go.
done.
But
It doesn't mean it's time to go. It just means
he has
my
no more
notes
bullet points on crabs or the Kingsguard.
Or the Kingsguard.
Yeah.
Should I mention the continuity thing, or should I save that for House of R?
Go for it.
No, I like continuity stuff.
I think it's in this episode. I don't want to knock this episode. I think they're doing so much with so little budget, and they're really, really killing it. There's a continuity error where Dunk gives the shield to Tansel, and then later when he goes to Steely Pate and also when he sells Sweetfoot, he's got the shield back on. Though they digitally deleted the chalice, the winged chalice on the back of it. And so it's not that he has another shield knocking about. I think they just did the scenes a little bit out of order, which is fine. There's no shame in it, but out of order would be closer to the book order. Mm-hmm. So there's something about the way they reshuffled the scenes that made more sense.
Maybe they wanted to emphasize their relationship with Tansel a little bit more.
And also the Kingsguard.
Sure.
Yeah.
Was she not too tall for, do you think?
Man.
Yeah.
Bodice ripping.
Yeah, bodice ripping.
Yeah.
Broadly speaking.
Did you if you don't want to talk about blowjobs or different angles, the physics, the vectors,
wasn't
we don't
going
have
to.
to.
I don't think that's what he was going to say.
No, I know that's what she was going to say.
He's a blushing virgin. I think it's for kissing. He says
he gets so nervous.
In his head in the book, he's talking about how he wouldn't have to kneel down to kiss her.
The one kiss he's had, it's a tavern
Isn't he
wench
16 in the book?
Sat on a table to kiss him because he's so
too tall. He's
She's
like, I could
not
kiss
too
her.
tall. For what?
For
Puppets.
kissing.
Classic. It's just
For
great stuff.
Sweet virginal kissing.
What did you think of the graphic design idea for the new shield?
I think she's
got
a great. I like Egg being like, I'm sort of like Eddie Qing this, I'm kind of
yes, exactly.
just like I'm giving my big vision, and then you just need you to execute.
It's fun to hear it described. That's the cover of the collection of the novellas. It's like iconic imagery, so it's just exciting to hear. I love their facial expressions. Egg is just like, man, you're botching this, and Tansel's like, what? What are you came here to ask me to do this, but you don't know what you're asking me? It's all very charming and sweet. I loved it. And I think what Joe said earlier, I was really struck by that book ending too. And I love that the end note of the episode from Dunk
is about jerky.
That bite is the actual last note of the episode, and I am his legacy. On the morrow, we will show them what his hand had wrought. I got like a chill.
Yeah.
And to be able to reconcile the truth that we are glimpsing in the very comedic adjacency of the flashback with this, I am trying to compel you to vouch for me, building toward this reconciling, as you said, of the truth. And as we love to talk about this George central focus of what's real, right? What's the ideal? And how do those things meld with each other? And for Dunk to be on his own journey of embracing it, but not as a rejection.
Sure.
Arlan is there as the foundation still, and then you build on top of that so Dunk can go become his own man. And he's repeatedly in the novella, and he says it in this episode, 60 years and he was never a champion. I want more than that, and that's okay. But saying that doesn't mean that I'm like, this guy actually was a joke and it's okay that no one remembers him. He's like, the fact that no one remembers this guy who gave chunks of his body to help their cause is appalling. How can that be the way that people live their lives? And
not
to
the most
that,
important chunk of his body.
That is intact. And the fact that guy, I love that, you could just see the woman in the background. He's just till the very last breath. He's getting it in, man.
Yeah.
Good for him.
I think that's a great
Ty
note
doing
to go
what he
out.
loves.
Really, really great note.
Quintessential Mallory Rubin commentary.
Updating the Gold Town lyrics with Ashford, taking a piss in front of a thatched roof cottage, and fucking a hot chick on the road. We should all be so lucky.
Jerky in the rain.
Do you want us to go and you can just kind of riff for a while?
Very memorable episode. I believe that was the first thing I texted
wonderful
you
episode.
guys about.
I can't wait for next week. Joanna Robinson, Mallory Rubin, House of R.
Christopher Ryan.
Yeah, it's me. We'll be back next week. Thanks to everybody who works hard on making this show what it is.
Legends.
We will see you on Sunday night after A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Episode 3.
Can't wait.
Bye.